talking about. Looks so bored. We're going to be talking about lechusas and nahuatls or nawals, which is the Mexica word for their versions of lechusas, which are witches that turn into owls after being controlled or given power by the devil. And actually, I'm going to be that is everywhere you follow me. Okay, there we go. Stream manager. Now I got my stream manager up everywhere too. Good. I don't like that. That's fine. Sorry about that. I got a little distracted. I have to check all my stuff at the same time everywhere. Uh, who sent me a message? No one. What the hell? So I don't like Discord too much. Anyways, let's get started into the episode. This is the official. Actually, we need to do our introduction. I haven't done my introduction in forever. Not transition 2, not transition 5. This one. Live. Quick and easy because I don't have the long one. Is this the long one? Oh, that's the music. I don't have titles for the music. Oh, Stream Element still thinks I'm doing music, or not music, but my food stream. It says, "Come join the food and drink talk." So let's begin. This is gonna be so awkward. Well, not awkward. It's gonna be weird for me. I'm not. I gotta get used to it because I have had plans to bring someone into the stream, at a live guest before, and it was supposed to be Raymundo, a famous comedian, but he had car trouble around the only time he was in Texas, so he was unable to make it. I got to reschedule him though. So let's get started. Hey, Fizzy, uh, Poppin' Faye, thank you for joining for the first time. Hey, Shades, I am live on Twitch and YouTube right now. I'm doing a stream for the podcast, so if I'm not going to be ignoring y'all, I'm just going to be focused on like three different chat boxes at the same time. So bear with me, please. Okay, so this is going to be a history lesson over, what I've already said. Hey, I saw that stars. Hey, y'all are getting me up there on stars. That a lot of power y'all are putting into that. Anyways, back to what I was doing. You're walking down a dark rural road in Mexico. The air is thick, the moonlight a fragile guide. From the heavy branches of a tree above, you hear the screech of a massive owl. And for a heart stopping second, you see the flash of a withered human face. At the same moment, a large shadowy dog steps out of the brush ahead. It doesn't bark, it just watches you, its eyes glowing with a terrifying, calculating intelligence. You're caught between a lechuza and a nawal. One is a vengeful witch, a monster born of grief. The other is a powerful sorcerer, a master of forbidden arts. But which one is the bigger threat? Today, we're breaking down the terrifying differences between two of Mexico's most legendary shapeshifters. And by the end, you'll know exactly what shadow you should fear most. Hey, what's going on, Mitsukuni? Yeah, road to 300K. Y'all are really pushing for that. Um, so today I'm gonna be talking about lechusas and nawals. I've said this like 3 or 4 times. I always repeat myself a lot. But what brought this on is about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. A TikTok influencer who goes over Mexica and Aztec mythology said that lechuzas and nawals were the same thing. I corrected him in his comments. I was like, hey, they're not the same thing. One's a witch, the other one's a sorcerer. They derive their powers from two different complete sources. And he disagreed and doubled down. And I think even at one point he sent his fans after me, which my channel tanked for a little bit, but it's slowly growing back up because he's a major influencer compared to me. And I was like, what? It really bothered me because I don't mind being wrong when I'm wrong, especially if I get my information wrong. I always tell people, whenever I do my stories, whenever I do my history lessons, whenever I do all this stuff, tell me if I'm wrong. If I got something wrong, I will correct myself. And I've had that happen in my YouTube comments on one of my videos over a mother whose daughter died by the cartel, and then she went after and killed like five different cartel members to get revenge. But they got it confused with another woman that did the exact same thing, because I was like, she got caught by the cartel at her home and it was shot, right? But the guy was like, no, you got it wrong. It happened in the middle of the city. She was trying to get to the municipal building. And I was like, oh, am I wrong? I'm sorry. I typed it out. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I might be wrong. Let me double check my information. And I will go through and re edit the entire video if I am wrong. And I looked it up. And I was like, oh, it's the same story. Two different women who did the same thing two different ways. So I wasn't wrong, but I told the guy, I was like, oh, yeah, we're both right. It's two different things. It's two different women, same story, same outcome. Just, I'm talking about one, you were talking about the other. So whenever I'm wrong, I'll do my research and I'll admit it. But with this, he just refused to admit he was wrong or to admit that he might have had some misinformation. So we're doing an entire episode over the differences between Nawals and Lechusas because, well, I can be petty and I don't like that. And I'm going to tag him when I post these videos to TikTok. So if y'all don't follow me on TikTok, this is the only time I'm ever going to say, find me on TikTok, follow me. And once the Chusa video comes out, which is going to be Monday or Tuesday, it's going to be Tuesday. We'll put these out. Just like the video, send it to everybody. Just tell them like it. Y'all don't even got to watch it. Just like it and skip it, and just get this traction as much as we can to get his attention to be like, you were wrong. Anyways, let's get back to the story at hand. The tapestry of Mexican folklore is teeming with weeping ghosts, demonic tricksters, and creatures of the night, but few figures command as much fearful respect as the shapeshifter. Beings that blur the sacred line between human and animal, between our world. Oh my! I lost it. Oh, I did something. Sorry, I did something and I lost where I was at. Beings that blur the sacred line between human and animal, between our world and a far older, more magical reality. At the very top of this food chain stand two titans of transformation, the Lechusa and the Nawal. On the surface, they seem similar. Both are human who become animals. Both are figures of dread. Their stories whispered as warnings to keep kids indoors after dark. They're woven into the very fabric of the culture. Their legends evolving from ancient Mesoamerican beliefs and twisting into new forms after the Spanish conquest. But to mistake them as the same thing is a grave error. The Lechusa is a creature of pure, unfiltered horror, a story of witchcraft, damnation, and bitter revenge. The Noah, on the other hand, is something far more complex, a legacy of pre Columbian shamanism, a mastery over the spiritual world that can be used for good or for terrifying evil. One is a curse, the other is a power. One is a monster driven by a singular purpose, while the other has the terrifying intellect of a human commanding the body of a beast. Let's dive into the heart of these legends. We'll explore the ancient origins, dissect their horrifying powers, and understand their place in the cultural psyche. This is more than just scary stories. This is a battle of folklore. By the time we're done, you'll understand the profound and terrifying differences that separate the vengeful Lechusa from the master shaman, the Nalwal. To understand the Lechusa, you have to understand a specific kind of darkness. It's the darkness of a soul curdled by rage and darkness that makes a pact with forces it should never have met. The lechuza is at its core the story of a witch, a bruja. The Spanish word lechuza just means barn owl, but in the folklore of Mexico and South Texas, it means something far more sinister. The legend tells of a woman who, through a deal with the devil, or as a consequence of some horrible tragedy, gains the powers to transform into a monstrous owl. She isn't just a woman who can become a bird, she's a terrifying fusion of human consciousness and animal fury. The lechuza story is a wild mashup of cultures colliding before the Spanish arrived. Owls already held a dark significance in Mesoamerica. For the Aztecs, owls were associated with Mictlantecuhtli, the god of the underworld, and their cry was considered a death omen. There were even stories of the Mometzipinkwe, women who, due to their birth date, had supernatural powers, including the ability to detach their limbs and replace them with bird parts to fly through the night and feast on the blood of infants. I should probably do a pre warning at the very beginning of this episode that it's going to get pretty dark because we're talking about some dark juju here, okay? I see you looking up. Then the Spanish conquistadors arrived, bringing their own superstitions. To the devoutly Catholic Spanish, the indigenous reference for animal spirits was devilry. They brought with them the European concept of a witch, a woman who consorts with the devil and works dark magic. The Mesoamerican owl as omen merged with the European witch as devil worshipper, and a new kind of monster was born. The narrative that formed was almost always one of tragedy and revenge. In some versions, the Lechusa was a woman whose child was murdered, and now she stalks the night to prey on drunks. In others, she was a healer falsely accused of witchcraft and executed. Her spirit returns in this monstrous form to get her revenge. A common thread in many tales is that she sold her soul to the devil for her powers, cementing her status as a creature of evil. The description of the lechusa of the lechusa are pure nightmare fuel. There is This is no ordinary owl. She is said to be a massive human-sized owl or human-sized bird standing 7 feet tall with a terrifying 15-foot wingspan. But the most horrifying detail is her face. Many accounts insist that beneath the feathers, the lechusa has the face of an old, withered woman with piercing human eyes. This grotesque mix of the body of a predator in the face of a bruja is what makes her so unsettling. The transformation itself is a gruesome process. Legends claim the witch performs a dark ritual, sometimes shedding her own skin, or even more grotesquely, removing her legs, leaving them behind while she takes to the sky. This act of dismemberment emphasizes the painful, unnatural cost of her power. She isn't seamlessly becoming an owl, she is mutilating her human form to unleash the monster. Now, a part of this story right here, and this is also why, like, our stories are everywhere. I've mentioned this many times. You tell me any story from any country, and I will find a correlation with the Hispanic community because anywhere that Spain has been, they take these stories with them and they mold them into different versions for different cultures. And this is how colonization works by not just conquering and turning people into other people. No, no. The way successful conquistadors and the colonization actually worked is that they would go over to different countries and blend their beliefs with them. That way, it's a seamless transition of power. So, right here, where I just mentioned the part where she removes her legs, leaves them behind, and takes to the sky, there is actually a Filipino witch that does this too. And one of my buddies has told me about this story. I'm gonna try to get him on stream to talk about it because I think he said his dad came across one, and the best way to stop them and to end that witch kind of way is to cover the legs so she can't return to her legs, and now she's stuck as whatever evil bird she turned into, and that's it, the end of her, right? But that's how that works. That's how conquistadors work. That's how colonization works, is that they don't just go invade and they're like, now you're Catholic, now you're European, now you're whatever, right? No, the Spaniards worked by going, learning a little bit about the culture and being like, oh, we have something similar. And they'll tell a story that is 90% Catholicism, 10% whatever religion or culture they're in. And now it's so much easier to meld the two together because there's a similarity that they think about. And now, boom, colonization. I have my own colonizer here. You didn't hear what I said, did you?
Huh?
Okay, good.
I heard you.
Huh? I had to fully take off my headphone. You heard what I said?
Yes, I heard you.
What did I say? Exactly. You didn't hear what I said.
I just don't care.
If I offend you, I'm sorry. I make these jokes on stream a lot. I'm gonna get stabbed in the neck when I'm not paying attention, am
Mhm.
I? That look off to the side.
I was just looking.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, let me get back to the story here.
Yeah, pay attention. Not your
I am paying attention. The Lechusa is above all a predator. Her entire supernatural arsenal is geared towards hunting humans. Her most famous power is mimicking sounds to lure her prey. She's known to perfectly replicate the cry of a baby, a sound designed to pull even the most cautious person out of their home. Once the victim is exposed, she strikes. Her targets are often specific. As a figure of vengeance, she frequently preys on those who wronged her, like drunks stumbling home from a bar. She also is seen as a dark moral enforcer, targeting kids who stay out too late, or in some versions, unbaptized infants. The legend serves as a potent cautionary tale. Beyond vocal tricks, the Lechusa has immense strength. Her talons are said to be strong enough to lift a grown man off the ground and carry him away. There are even modern stories of Lechusas attacking cars on lonely highways. As a powerful witch, she's believed to control the weather, summoning violent thunderstorms. I just got a text message. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck kind of number is this? Hold on. What? I just got a weird text message. What is this? Oh, double click. What? This has to be a scam. At 10:30 at night. Yeah, this is a huge scam. Someone's trying to scam me. Parking violation slash toll violation. Uh, that's a lie because I have a toll tag. It automatically charges my credit card once a month. Ha. Yeah, they're not gonna. Scammers are stupid. The judge is not gonna send out a notice of default action. That's not even what it's called, notice of default. That's wrong. At 10:30 at night, Sunday, the night before I should appear at court. This would have been sent a month and a half ago through certified mail so I can sign off on it. Or a sheriff would have shown up at my door knocking, saying, "Hey, you need to appear." Issued March 2nd on a Monday. Yeah, no, this is a lie. I wonder. Okay, I'll deal with this later. I'll deal with this scammer crap later. I'm going to clip this out of the audio, delete that later. Can't believe someone's gonna try to scam me at 10:30 at night. Uh, oh, hey, let's see if they respond. Okay, boom. So this should be an automated message. I shouldn't get a response back, but I just sent a message like, "How much do I owe?" And if it says click the link, then yeah, that's a lie. Am I talking?
Mhm.
What? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought you knew.
I didn't know. That's why I keep looking out the window. I'm like, who's outside?
No one's here.
Oh my god, I feel like an idiot. This gets clipped too. Okay, let me get back to the story because I got distracted. Yeah, it was a ghost. It was me. My phone was turned up like the tiniest hair. Okay, let me get back to the story because I got distracted by a scammer. Uh, As a powerful witch, she's believed to control the weather, summoning violent thunderstorms to add to the terror of her hunt. Just hearing her cry is often considered a death omen. Finally, the lechuza is notoriously hard to harm. Bullets are said to have no effect on her. This invulnerability makes an encounter with her feel utterly hopeless, sealing her reputation as an unstoppable force of supernatural malevolence. Despite her power, the legends offer ways to defend yourself. The most common defense is simple. If you hear something that shouldn't be there in the dead of night, do not go outside. For those who find themselves face to face with the creature, a curious method of repelling her is to curse at her. Shouting insults and profanity is said to drive her away. It's an act of defiance that seems to disrupt her power. Salt is another powerful ward, as are religious prayers, particularly the Magnificat, pitting the power of Christian faith against the demonic pact. And also a way to get rid of her. This is what I heard growing up. You cross your two middle fingers, you hook your two middle fingers together, and as you're pulling, this is the dumbest thing ever. You say lechuga tomate cebolla, which is literally you're just repeating lettuce, tomato, onion. And while hooking your fingers together and holding them, supposedly gets rid of her. I don't know. I've never come face to face with the lechuza. My buddy Mark has. I have not. I should ask him later though. Killing a lechuza is exceedingly difficult. While normal weapons are useless, some stories suggest that if you manage to shoot and injure the owl, it may revert to its human form. People have claimed to have shot a lechuza only to later find a woman in town with an unexplainable injury in the same spot, fueling paranoia about who might be leading a dark double life. But while the lechuza is a monster of singular vengeful purpose, our other subject is far more nuanced and in many ways more powerful. The lechuza is a witch who becomes an animal. The Nawal is a master shaman who commands the animal form and whose origins stretch back into the very heart of pre Columbian Mesoamerica. Stepping into the world of the Nawal means leaving behind the straightforward horror of a witch and entering a much older realm of shamanism and cosmic duality. The Nawal is not a simple monster. A Nawal is a human being, a sorcerer, a shaman, a brujo with the ability to shapeshift. This power isn't from a pact with the devil, but from a profound connection to the spiritual world, a concept deeply embedded into the Mesoamerican cosmology. The idea that the Nawal is tied directly to the pre Columbian concept of the tonal. In many Mesoamerican belief systems, every human is born with a spiritual link to an animal counterpart. This animal, the tonal, is a guardian spirit, and its traits are imprinted on the person's soul. My tonal is a gator. I got two. Mine is a double gator. I checked that of a couple friends of mine. I'm the gator. Theirs is like a deer, and I can't remember what the fourth one is, or third one is. To a person's soul. The word Nawal comes from the Nahuatl term Nawali, which means disguise or garment. The animal form is a disguise the practitioner can wear. While the Tonal was a passive spirit companion for everyone, the Nawal was a shaman or sorcerer who could actively manipulate this connection and physically transform into their animal counterpart. This power wasn't inherently evil. A Nawal could be a respected community protector who used their abilities to heal and to communicate with the spirit world. These powerful practitioners were believed to be under the protection of a major Aztec deity, Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror. Tezcatlipoca was a complex god of sorcery, destiny, and conflict. He himself was a master shapeshifter whose own Nagual was the jaguar, making the wall a divinely sanctioned figure. It was only after the Spanish conquest that the Nawal's image darkened. Catholic friars demonized the practice, equating the powerful shamans with the European witches. Over centuries, the Nawal, once a figure of spiritual power, often became synonymous with the malevolent brujo. However, the Nawal never fully lost its original ambiguity and is still seen as a figure of duality, a protector or a destroyer. Unlike the lechuza, who is stuck as an owl, a Nawal can choose their form. Common forms include powerful predators like the jaguar, the puma, or a wolf. However, they can also become dogs, coyotes, donkeys, or birds, including owls. A Nawal who practices dark magic might choose an owl form, making them look like a lechuza, but their nature is fundamentally different. The most powerful Nawals are even said to transform into fireballs or lightning. The method of transformation are also far more varied than the lechuza's gruesome ritual. The Nawal spirit never leaves, or the Nawal spirit leaves their sleeping body and enters an existing animal, controlling its actions. Or physical incarnation, the sorcerers wills their body to physically change into the animal, an act of pure magical power. Or a ritual transformation, some legends speak of the rituals involving the detachment of body parts similar to pre Columbian witch legends like the Mometskipinque. This ability to choose their form and method speaks to a key difference: intelligence and agency. The Nawal is in complete control. Their transformation is a conscious act, a tool for a specific purpose. Because they are powerful sorcerers, and a Nawal's abilities extend far beyond the physical. In their animal guise, they gain the creature's heightened senses of strength and ability, but they retain their human intelligence, cunning, and magical knowledge. This combination of animal instinct and human intellect makes them exponentially more dangerous than any normal beast. Their abilities as sorcerers are vast. Healing and cursing, and the walls can speak the sick or cast spells that cause disease and death. Divination and spirit contact, they can communicate with spirits and see into the future. Teleportation and invisibility, the most powerful are said to disappear and reappear at will. Hypnosis and illusions, they can mesmerize victims and manipulate the perception of reality. This broad toolkit makes the Nawal incredibly unpredictable. An encounter with the Lechusa is straightforward. It wants to kill you. An encounter with the Nawal is far more uncertain. Its motivations are human, with all the complexities and cruelty that implies. Defending against Nawal requires a different approach because they're masters of magic. Simple profanity won't work on them. One common belief is that you must show no fear. Fire is also seen as a protective element, as with Lechusa's Catholic influence introduced defenses like making the sign of the cross or using salt. But one of the most effective ways to defeat a Nawal is to discover its human identity. Calling out their real name while they are in animal form is said to weaken them, stripping away the secret that fuels their magic. If the Nawal is one that practices ritual dismemberment, finding and destroying the body parts left behind would prevent them from ever becoming human again. Finally, while resistant to normal weapons, they are not immortals. Some legends suggest they are vulnerable to silver bullets or blessed weapons. However, the most certain way to kill Nawal is said to be decapitation, a definitive act that breaks the spiritual connection. So now it's time to bring them face to face. While both are shapeshifted from the Mexican imagination, they are fundamentally different breeds of terror. So, round one, the nature of the being, cursed monster versus master shaman. This is the most crucial distinction. The Lechusa is a monster. She is a woman transformed by a curse or a pact. Her humanity is corrupted, and her existence is a punishment she is trapped in. The Nawal, by contrast, is a master. They are a human who has achieved the power of transformation. It's not a curse, but a skill. An ancient and powerful art. The Nawal retains their full human intellect and agency. You aren't dealing with a beast, you're dealing with a human mind that has the power of a beast. So, round two, blind vengeance versus complex intent. The Lechusa's motivations are primal and clear: vengeance and predation. Her actions are driven by the trauma that created her. She is terrifyingly predictable. Her rage is an all-consuming fire, but it's a simple fire. The Nawal's motivations are as complex and unpredictable as any humans. They aren't inherently evil, so their intent can vary wildly. A Nawal might attack out of malice to protect its village or just as a cruel game. This ambiguity is what makes the Nawal so unnerving. You don't know why it's there. Its goals are not the simple drives of a monster, but the calculating goals of a powerful human. Number three, or round three, the act of transformation, a painful curse versus a willed art. The way each transforms highlights their differences. The Lechusa's change is gruesome and painful, a violation of her own body that underscores the corrupting nature of her power. The Nawal's transformation is an act of will and mastery. It is a skill, a demonstration of control. The Nawal chooses their form based on their needs: a dog for tracking, a jaguar for fighting. This flexibility demonstrates a level of sophistication far beyond the Lechusa's singular, cursed form. The transformation isn't a violation, it's an expression of power. Round four, intelligence, primal cunning versus human intellect. Here's where it gets truly terrifying. The Lechusa, while cunning, operates on the level of a predator. She uses tricks like mimicking a baby's cry, but her goal is the hunt. Her intelligence is focused and instinctual. The Nawal, however, keeps its full human intelligence, cunning, and capacity for cruelty while in its animal form. Imagine a wolf that doesn't just hunt, but can set a plan, set complex traps, and enjoy the psychological terror of its victim. A Lechusa might swoop down and carry you away. A Nawal might stalk your family for weeks, appearing as different animals each night, driving you mad with the paranoia before it finally strikes. It's the difference between being hunted by a shark and being hunted by a human who can breathe underwater and has rows of serrated teeth. So, in conclusion, we return to the dark road, the screech of the witch owl above, the silent glowing eyes of the sorcerer dog ahead. Which is the greater threat? The Lechusa is an immediate visceral horror. She's a monster, a physical manifestation of rage. An encounter with her is a fight for your life against a powerful, relentless predator. The fear she inspires is primal, the fear of being hunted, of being torn apart. But the Nawal is a deeper kind of terror. The threat is not just physical, it's a psychological and strategic. The Nawal is a master of its domain, a being of immense power and human intellect. It might not kill you right away. It might watch you. It might decide to toy with you, to dismantle your life piece by piece. The Lechusa is a monster that was once a person. The Nawal is a person who became a monster at will. While the Lechusa is a spirit, while the Lechusa is a spirit against a furious beast, an encounter with the Nawal is a chess match against a grand master who holds all the powerful pieces. Ultimately, do you fear the raging beast or the cold, calculating sorcerer? The screech of pure hatred or the silent, intelligent stare? Both are apex predators of folklore, but while you might survive an encounter with a monster, surviving a master who decided you are his prey is another matter entirely. If you enjoyed this trip into the shadows of Mexican folklore, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into legendary creatures. Ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. We'd love to hear, or I'd love to hear, your own family stories about the Lechusas or the Nawaz. So share them with our community in the comments below. Thanks for watching and stay safe out there. And remember, stay spooky, everybody. Hey, Silk Able, Nightwolf. I haven't seen y'all in forever. Oh my God. I've been doing my stream so long. I didn't see y'all join. I'm sorry. I usually mention when someone joins. I'm recording for the podcast, which I just ended one episode. If I can close that out, I'm going to in this stream for like 5 minutes so I can set up and do get another one for another episode. So I have 2 weeks out. That way it doesn't change anything.